VCAL PD presents Movie Talk Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the 2Sweet movie show. It's Thursday the 9th of August. So basically, let's just go quickly through this one. So, starting off the program, we're going to talk about, the new movies of the week as usual. And this week we're going to be talking about The Spy Who Dumped Me. So let's get into it. So, The Spy Who Dumped Me, it's a new action comedy from director Susanna Fogel. And she is actually been on some... She directed the movie Life Partners, which I don't think was that popular. But it did star Gillian Jacobs and Adam Brody. So it did have... And also Kate McKinnon in a small role. And she's directed the series Chasing Life 2, one episode of that one. And that was a popular series on ABC Family. So yeah, I think it will be a big movie, The Spy Who Dumped Me. I've heard that lots of people are looking forward to it, which is always exciting to hear. I mean, it's got a great cast, it's got a great premise. I think the plot looks pretty interesting, and if you've seen the trailers, then you'll probably be entertained when you go and check this one out. I think it's released in VMAX and all of that. So yeah, it'll be a good film to watch with the chick flicks or something. So it'll be a good film to watch. So basically, it's an action comedy, as I said, and the story is about Audrey and Morgan, and they're played by Mila Kunis and Kate McKinnon. They're two 30-year-old best friends in Los Angeles, and they unexpectedly go into a international conspiracy when Audrey's ex-boyfriend shows up at their apartment, and with a team of deadly assassins on his trail. Surprising even themselves, the duo jump into action on the run throughout Europe from assassins and a suspicious but charming British agent as they hatch a plan to save the world. So I've heard, lots of people are really interested in this one, really excited to check it out. So who wrote the film? Well, Susanna Fogel, the director, also wrote the screenplay of the film, and even David Erson wrote The Spy Who Dumped Me, and he's worked on comedy series like New Girl, which have been on 11 over in Australia, even Up All Night, which was on Channel 7 a few years ago. United States of Tara's been on the ABC. Mad Men, we've seen it on SBS, and Mr. Robot, which I'm pretty sure we've seen on lots of streaming services, or Foxtel, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it has been getting some good reviews. Mr. Robot, as we know. So, Mila Kunis, I don't think we've seen her since she was in Bad Moms 2 last year, which was actually released on the 2nd of November last year. So, I guess, we've waited about 8 months to see her back on the big screen. So I guess it was worth the wait to see her comedy talent back onto the big screen, and some good action scenes as well with women as well, which is good to see. And Kate McKinnon, what have we seen her in? Saturday Night Live. Probably the last cinematic release we've seen her in would be Rough Night last year, which is actually out around June last year. So I guess it's been more than a year, hasn't it, since we've seen Kate McKinnon. And even you've got Sam Hugan in this film as well. He's been in a couple of series. Probably most of people know, if you've got Foxtel or some streaming services, you probably know him from Outlander. He's playing a different character here. And Jennifer Aniston's ex-husband is in this film too, Justin Theroux. And I don't think we've seen him since Mute on Netflix, or the last cinematic release we've just seen him in, would have been his animated voice acting in Lego Ninjago movie, or Star Wars The Last Jedi late last year. And you've even got Gillian Anderson in this film as well. And she's a good actress. You know, you've seen her in The Fall, which is a popular series on BBC First, and it's also been on SBS One over here. So yeah, I know. I'll be pretty excited to check this out. I think it'll be pretty hilarious, to be honest. I mean, I've heard that they make a good duo, like Mila and Kate, and even Sam Hugan. Apparently he's playing a different character to Outlander, which would be interesting to see, and he's been getting good reviews. And you know, they've also been saying that this is sort of one of the female James Bonds thing, and it'll have so many good fun one-liners and some great stunt moves as well. And you know, I'm pretty sure it will exceed my expectations. Like, I mean, the first trailer that came out, it wasn't that funny. I guess it had some jokes, but you know, it was a bit of a cringeworthy thing. But when you go and see the movie, you'll be entertained for sure. I mean, it's pretty good fun and stuff, you know. And I think they make a pretty good spy team. And you know, it's just the perfect dose of action and comedy. What's not to like? Top-notch cast, tight script. And you know, it can get super violent at times. It will appeal to both sexes, the male and females. And you know, they all nail it. So, you know, it'll be a good, cool movie to see. So yeah, that one's out today. Another film that is out today is the film Book Club. But actually this film is a bit of an advanced screening today. An advanced screening only today, I'm pretty sure, at the Palace Brighton. So if you're at the Palace Standy Brighton at 3 p.m. today, you might be able to catch Book Club. But other than that, it's not really a main release. So sorry about that for some people wanting Book Club. But, you know, you're not going to have to wait long, because Book Club's out on August the 16th, the official release. Then it'll come to Village and Hoyts, and you're not familiar with the movie, it's the four lifelong friends. They have their lives changed, and what they do, they read 50 Shades of Grey in the monthly book club. And it gets a bit crazy from there, I guess you can say. So I guess I'll mention more book club when it gets closer to the release. So the main release I was going to tell you today, the other main release would be Superfly now. I remember when I went and saw a couple of films recently, I've been seeing the previews for this one. And it does look like an entertaining action film. And you know, I think it could do alright here. I mean, some people will like it and some people won't tolerate it. So it depends on what your tastes are. So Superfly, it's like an action crime thriller. And the story's basically when Priest, and he's played by Trevor Jackson, and he's a young but experienced coke dealer in Atlanta. And he realises it's time to get out of the trade. So he risks it all on one last score. Double-crossing his mentor, Priest heads to Mexico to connect with the cartel that serves as the source of his product. So, you know, recently we've been always hearing about Mexico. You know, I saw Sicario, The Day of the Soldado, and, you know, that was all about Mexico. So I think lots of films are going to start having the same thing, Mexico, you know. I guess it's an alright thing. So yeah, if you're not familiar with the director, so the director who made Superfly is actually Director X is his name, and has worked on series like Lost Girl, which you've seen on SBS, and even Mr. Tachon. And I'm pretty sure that thing was a documentary. And he's also a music video director, so it'll be interesting to see if he actually gets this feature film right, because, he's directed Fifth Harmony, Iggy Azalea, Drake, Little Mix, Kendrick Lamar, Justin Bieber, Little Mix, Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, and Usher. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does here. And also Rihanna. So, the screenplay is by Alex TSE. I think we should be looking forward to the screenplay because it's from the same screenplay who made Watchmen, which was actually really popular, the DC action mystery movie. It's always had a good following. Lots of people have really been interested in this one. I've been going back to it because it's really interesting. If you're not familiar with the story, it's about 1985, where the former superheroes exist, and the murder of a colleague sends an active vigilante, Rorschach, into his own sprawling investigation, and it uncovers something that could completely change the course of history as we know it. So, it was directed by Zack Snyder. It is directed by him. And, you're familiar with him. He's directed so many good things recently. 2017, last year, he directed Justice League, which was a mixed response from people. People said it was alright, but it wasn't the best according to people. You know the drill. It's got all the good DC superheroes in it, the DC stars, and from Henry Cavill playing Superman to Jason Momoa playing Aquaman. And yeah, Aquaman's going to be released soon, so that's an exciting thing to see. And Amber Heard playing Mira, Amy Adams playing Lois Lane, Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman, obviously, Diane Lane playing Martha Kent, Ezra Miller, who's a Flash, Ben Affleck, of course, Batman, Joe Manganiello, Mr. Wilson, Robin Wright, Antwerp, and Billy Crudup, and Jeremy Irons, J.K. Simmons, Jesse Eisenberg, and uncredited. And yeah, it had a number of people in this one. It was a mixed response from people. But let's go back to Alex TSE. So, yeah, he hasn't really written a screenplay since 2009, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets Superfly right. But it's good to see that there's the writer of Watchmen is going to be has already written Superfly, so it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. So I think the name which people will recognise is Jennifer Morrison. She's in Superfly. And she's probably the only one which people will look at the screen and go, oh, I've seen her before, because half the cast are just some people you've never heard of. And, when I saw the trailer, I'm like, who are these people? I've never even seen them before, but... So she plays a detective in Superfly. You know her because she has been popular with viewers in Once Upon a Time, which I've seen on the 7 Network, and even How I Met Your Mother, she's been in a couple of times, and House, which was popular on Channel 10 back in the day. So yeah, she certainly had some good TV shows. And some other people are in it. Michael Kenneth Williams. I'm trying to see, have I ever seen that guy before? Yeah, well, I guess you can say you've seen him in The Wire, which is a popular series and 12 Years a Slave, but you don't spot them straight away because they're hard to recognise. You don't remember them. And probably S.I. Morales is in here as well. You've probably known him from How to Get Away with Murder, series on the 7 Network. Or Lex Scott Davis, well, you probably saw her on Training Day, which was also on the 7 Network. Andrea Lodo, you would have seen her in Narcos on Netflix. Trevor Jackson, I'm thinking, who is he? Have I seen him before? He's supposed to be in Grownish. He's been in Grownish or something, a 2018 series. Don't think I've heard of it, but Blackish, have heard of it. It's been on the 7 Network here in Australia. So, but haven't really seen him before. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays out as a main character. And Jason Mitchell, you probably know him from Detroit and Kung Skull Island, which I saw, and even Straight Outta Compton. So he's been in a couple of things. And that's basically the cast. I mean, that's all. So I hope it plays out. I hope it actually is worth watching. And I would like to go see it, so I might see it soon. I'm not sure. So yeah, there's Superfly. This releases today, so I might see it this week or the week after or something, and then I'll give you a review. So there's Superfly, people. So some other things out. Well, you've got Mission Impossible Fallout, which is roaring at the box office, just smashing. And Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I actually saw this on Sunday, so I guess I can provide you with a review of it and the plot as well. So basically, it's about Donna it's about Donna when she was young, who's played by Lily James, and it's about her going through all of her, she's going through her life, what Donna had before she was older. So just her young life, how she got there and everything. So it goes backwards and forwards between Lily James and Amanda Seyfried. I thought it was a good, entertaining film. I mean, it certainly wasn't that bad. But there were some things which were, a bit stupid at times. But it's 10 years later. The first one was in 2008, and now we get 2018, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. And I know, like, the first Mamma Mia, I remember watching it years ago when we just rewatched it. It's alright, but it's never my favourite. But the sequel could be better, in my opinion. I don't know. But it was a bit over the top, the first one. But this movie just goes into the present time and then the flashback. And I can agree with lots of people and say the flashback scenes are probably the most interesting moments due to Lily James. I mean, Lily James is just a beautiful actress. She plays young Donna. I just really like her as a person. I mean, I've seen her in a couple of things recently. Like, saw her in Baby Driver last year. I've even seen her in the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. And she was probably the best thing about that movie. She really just provides this beautiful face on screen, which is just beautiful to watch and see. And I agree, it is good to take a chance on this one. And even when she sings, Lily James, she has a beautiful voice. I mean, it's really nice to hear her sing. And it is some great stuff in here. So Oi Parker, I think he did a good job, I guess, on directing this one. He was in Now Is Good. He directed that. That was one of his last films. I mean, it has a big cast, this movie. Lily James would be my favourite character in this one. You know, Amanda Seyfried, she's not that popular at the moment, and thought she put an okay performance, but at the start she was a bit, sort of boring at times, but it was disappointing to see that actually, because she has she is a good actress at some times. You've seen her in Gringo. I saw her in Gringo, probably the latest thing I saw her in before Mamma Mia. And I thought she put in a solid performance. But in this one, she was a bit boring. I didn't really see her giving some effort on the performance. But Josh Dillon, who plays young Bill, I mean, we've seen him in Allied. It's probably the last thing I saw him in. Captain Adam Hunter, and now he's back playing young Bill. I thought he actually did put a good performance on one of young Donna's possible fathers. And he did. I mean, he just put on a good performance. And Jeremy Ivan, he was alright as young Sam, I guess. You've seen him in Warhorse. He was even in Now Is Good. And let's talk about Meryl Streep now. I mean, she's she's Meryl Streep. She can't really put on a bad performance. So I think, Meryl Streep's Meryl Streep. She always puts in great performances. I haven't seen her in a movie, but she's just a bad actress. So she was good in this one. Dominic Cooper, I mean, if I could say, he's probably better than Amanda Seyfried. He put in a better performance. But I think at the start of the film, Amanda Seyfried just came in and wasn't that interesting. But at the end of the film, she certainly put on a great performance. I mean, it was a bit ups and downs, but she is a good actress. I'm not saying she's not. Dominic Cooper, he's a good actor. You've seen him on Preacher, on Stan. You've even seen him on Need for Speed as well. I do like him as an actor. And then you've got Pierce Brosnan, who's, Sam, possible dad for Donna. Possible husband of Donna. And I mean, yeah, it goes back into the flashlights of Sam and Donna when they were young. And to be honest, I mean, Pierce Brosnan, he was alright in his performance, but I don't think he was the best of the lot. I mean, his singing wasn't that good, to be honest. And Christina Baranski, I thought she actually did put on a funny performance in this one. Lots of oldies will like her dialogues. And sometimes they were funny, sometimes they weren't. But, she's a good actress because you've seen her in Big Bang Theory, where I've seen her the most, playing Leonard's mother, a stubborn mother. And she's always funny in that performance. And even The Good Fight, which is the drama of Diane Lockhart, she also puts good performances in that one. So, Stellan Skarsgård, is also in this film, and I thought, you know, he was alright in this one, I guess. He didn't get much screen time. And let's talk about Cher. I mean, she's sort of a cameo in the end, as you've seen in the trailer, and you know, I mean, if they took Cher out of this movie, it wouldn't make it any worse. It wouldn't make a difference. I mean, Cher and Andy Garcia sing at the end, and I guess it's an okay song, but Cher doesn't really have much to do. She just stands there and says a few lines. And then you got Julie Walters, who's also in this film. I mean, she plays Rosie. The sisters or the friend of Christine Baranski. And I guess she was funny in this one. And Andy Garcia. Well, Andy Garcia is Andy Garcia. I mean, Terry Benedict from Ocean's 11. He puts in a fine performance in this one. Even you've seen him in Ballers, and he looks completely different when you look at him. So, whatever he's in, he always changes his look. So, it's always interesting to see him. And the person who plays young Tanya, Jessica Keenan Wynn. She was alright, I guess you could say. She's just Christine Baranski when she was younger. And I guess she put in a fine performance. And she was funny at times. And Hugh Skinner playing young Harry. He was pretty memorable. Lily James and him had a funny song at the start, around the start of the movie. And I guess it was one of the highlight of the film. It was certainly a good performance. A good stage performance from them. And Colin Firth, Colin Firth, he's in Kingsman. He's been in The Mercy, I saw him, Bridget Jones. To be honest, he plays Harry, and he has a good performance. Colin Firth, I do like him as an actor. And then you've got Alexa Davies, who plays the younger Rosie. Now, the younger Rosie, she was okay. She doesn't have much. She hasn't been in many interesting things, many memorable things, other than TV shows and stuff. But I guess she was okay, but she wasn't the best actress, to be honest. And then you have Celia Imrie, who comes on at the start. Celia Imrie, I guess she was good at the start of the movie as a chancellor. And she started off the movie. And yeah, she was good. Nothing to fault on her performance. So, there's ups and downs in this one. I guess you can say it's probably an 8 out of 10. Because if it was just most of Lily James, it would have just been the best, honestly. She puts in great performances into her work, I'm telling you. She's a great actress, this one. She's just very memorable. and very perfect in her acting skills. So yeah, I would recommend people to check this out. It is very memorable, to be honest. So Mamma Mia, here we go again. Probably give it an 8 out of 10. I mean, have you heard about? Did you watch the first one? Because I think this exceeded expectations and exceeded the first one due to Lily James putting in an excellent performance into the role. And yeah, I'd love to see Lily James in lots of other things because she certainly is a good actress and she puts good performances into her work. Yes. And also the other movie I wanted to talk to you about was Mook. Now it's not really showing that many places, so it's hard for me to go and watch it. The plot's simple. I mean, it's about one family member. They try to help her own family, which are trapped in a dark controversy. So, it's from the director, Anubhav Sinha. He directed Tum Bintu, Rawan, Kash, Das, and a couple of other things. And the cast, Tapasi Panu, who we saw in Judwa 2 last year, and probably a memorable performance. Her most performance would be in Surma. Now that was out last month. So that's what people would be knowing her from. Or Nam Shabana, she put in an excellent performance in that one. With Akshay Kumar. And even Rishi Kapoor, he plays Murad Ali Mohabbat in this film, as you see on the poster. I haven't seen it, so I can't judge, but seeing Rishi Kapoor in 102 Not Out, he's playing a different person here in Mook. So, you can take it or leave it. I mean, I'm not really familiar with it. But I wouldn't mind checking it out, to be honest. So there's Mook. I don't think I'll get around to it because it's not really showing in the afternoon a lot. It's showing late at night. So the other movie I wanted to talk to you about is On Cheezel Beach. Now this is one releasing today actually. And it is releasing wide. I mean, it's releasing at Village Cinemas. So it's a romantic drama. And it's a story. It's based on Ian McEwan's novel. And it's about in 1962 in England, a young couple find their romance colliding with issues of sexual freedom and societal pressure, leading to an awkward and fateful wedding night. So it's adapted by Ian McEwan, and it's best-selling novel. And it's different backgrounds in the summer of 1962, and explores sex and that can accompany physical intimacy. So, I mean, let's go have a look at the director. So, it's directed by Dominic Cook. Now, let's see. I may have seen some of his other features. Yes, so I have seen The Hollow Crown. He hasn't really made a movie, but he made a mini-series called The Hollow Crown. And I did see it. I've seen some of it, and it has some pretty big names. It's been on SBS a couple of times. And it's long, apparently, so it has a long run time. And, it stars people from Benedict Cumberbatch to Tom Hiddleston to Julie Walters to Sally Hawkins from The Shape of Water to Judi Dench, Clemence Posey, Michelle Dockery from Downton Abbey, Michael Gambon, Jeremy Irons, John Hurt. And that's basically it. But it would be good to see him from directing a miniseries to a movie. So let's see how that goes. So the screenplay is written by Ian McEwan. Well, he actually wrote the novel, but he's also writing the screenplay. So it's good to see that. He's doing both. So, it's Ian McEwan. He's written a lot of good novels like Atonement. If you're not familiar with that, that was another. It was directed by Joe Wright. Now, Joe Wright, the director of The Darkest Hour, the director of Pan, the director of Anna Karenina, the director of The Hannah, the director of The Soloist, the director of Bodily Harm. He's done a couple of things. And actually, Saoirse Ronan actually stars in Atonement. So I guess that is good to see, actually. She's back. And in this one, you've got James McAvoy, who's in this one. And he was actually in Deadpool 2. And he's apparently going to be in Submergence. They said that it was going to release in Australia, so it was around August, they were saying. So still waiting for that one to release Australia. Just don't know how long we're going to have to wait, or they could have cancelled it. Who knows, really? I mean, things change. Could be able to watch it online sometimes. They might put it on a streaming service. But yeah, Atonement also stars, it starred Benedict Cumberbatch, Keira Knightley, Juno Temple, Saoirse Ronan. So there's a pretty big cast there. Pretty solid cast. And he's also wrote The Child in Time, which is aired on BBC First, which is a TV movie with Benedict Cumberbatch. Even The Good Son, he wrote that movie with Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood. And in this one, the casting, well, we've got Saoirse Ronan, who we know from Lady Bird. Now, it'd be good to see her, to see how she leads this film. I've heard that she puts in an excellent performance in it, so it'll be good to see it, really. And Emily Watson's also in this film. She's been in Gosford Park. And she's an English actress. So yeah, I've seen the posters around at the local cinema. I've sort of thought, it's been at film festivals and everything, so it should probably be something which would be interesting to see. And yeah, he's actually releasing this one 10 years after Atonement. And Saoirse Ronan reunites with Ian McEwan. Yeah, so he adapted this one. So, it's an emotional charged film of love and loss, and strong performances in this one too, which is good to see. And it's character driven. And it's a little film, it's a period piece. So I wouldn't mind seeing it, actually. I would be really excited to go and watch it. So this one releases today. Hopefully I'll be able to give you a review when I see it. Yep. And Wednesday, because it's Indian Independence Day, I thought I'd mention some films releasing. So, on Wednesday, Gold actually releases. Now, this is in theatres Wednesday, as I said, so it's a history sport movie, a drama. And it's set in 1948. It's a historic story of the India's first Olympic medal post their independence. And it's directed by Rima Kagdi, and I'm not sure if it's a he or she, but they worked on Talash, so he hasn't directed a film for about 6 years. Talash was in 2012. And starred Amir Khan, Kareena Kapoor, Rani Mukherjee. It was really popular with critics, so I guess this one is something to look forward to. It was a mystery type of thing. Mystery movie. And so the writer who wrote, well, 4 people worked on it, writers and the dialogue. So that it's from the writer of a film called Quick Gun Mujjan Misadventures of an Indian Cowboy. Not really heard about it, so don't really know what they're talking about there, to be honest. I'm really confused. But I think the main writer we've got here is the writer Rima Kagti. So he also wrote Talash, and he wrote the screenplay and story of Zindagi Na Milgi Dubra, which is a popular comedy drama, an adventure comedy drama starring Hrithik Roshan, Farhan Akhtar, Abedol, Katrina Kaif, and Naziruddin Shah. It's the film Zindagi Na Milegi Dubra, and 3 friends decide to turn their fantasy vacation into reality after one of their number gets engaged. And he also worked on the screenplay of Dil Dakkane Do back in 2015, the comedy family movie with Anil Kapoor, Priyanka Chopra, Ranveer Singh, Anushka Sharma, Farhan Akhtar, Rahul Bose, and Amir Khan as a voice actor. I never saw it, so I guess I should probably see it. Apparently it was a must-watch with a family, so I guess it's something good to see. Well, he's always awesome anyway. Anil Kapoor brings he writes massive stuff. So yeah, the cast in this one, at Gold, you've got Akshay Kumar. Now, when did we last see him? We last see him in Padman at the start of this year. Farhan Akhtar, Moni Roy, Vinit Kumar Singh, Abdul Qadir Amin, Amit Saad, Andrew Havil, Kunu Kapoor. So there's Gold. Some other films which are releasing would be Satyameva Jayate, which actually also starts on Wednesday. If you're not familiar with this one's going to be a blockbuster for the whole entire family. Family blockbuster. Really is. It's an action thriller, and the story's basically, there are about 2 lakh policemen in Mumbai tasked with the safety of this enormous city. A majority of them don't necessarily have the cleanest of bodies. When 4 such police inspectors are burnt alive in a series of merciless killing, the entire police force is rocked with terror. The media is looking for answers. The public is on the fence over these killings. These crimes reflect Ver as a person, bold, calculating, and unapologetic. He's not scared of killing or dying. It was clear that he had an agenda, a reason, a drive behind these deaths, and he was far done. So this film is directed by Milip Zavri. Now, he's directed some things, and they're not really that memorable. Well, he directed a short film called Rock. And Rock was an impressive thriller. And it was a bit of a low budget short film. And the writer's Milip Zafri as well. And he wrote some memorable things like 24, the series with Anil Kapoor. It was a massive thriller series. And it even could have been as good as Kiefer Sutherland's one. It was just, massive. It was some masterful acting by Anil Kapoor. I mean, he's just superb in this role. He really is. He just brings it. And Kanti, he wrote the dialogue for that one. Ungali, Houseful. Couple of good ones. Musafir. And the cast in this one, we got John Abraham. And we haven't seen him since the film Pamanu this year. So Pamanu was a very, very popular film. And it was a smash hit with critics as well. And Manoj Bajpayee is in this film as well. And, he's known for The Gangs of Wasseypur, Bagi 2, and Nora Fateh sings the song Dilba in this film. It would just be amazing to go and see this one. It really will be. It's just going to be mind-blowing amazing. I'm not even joking about it, mate. If you've seen the Dilba song on YouTube, I mean, all the songs of Satyam Jayati are all brilliant. So they all bring it. So, it's good to see these films, man. On the 15th of August, so less than Less than 7 days to go for that one. So there's such a Meva Jayati. So now I think this program is going to come to a close. I've had a good run and everything. It's been a brilliant, solid program today. And I think we've all done I've done a good job here, and guess we'll see you next week for another 2Sweet movie reviews. And as always, keep liking the videos, keep subscribing to Sandy VCAL, and just stay in tune with all the podcasts here, because I've also got my mate Lee and Adan doing a WWE podcast, so make sure to check them out as well. Don't leave them hanging, because they have a great podcast here as well. So I guess see you now.